it was in the late 60s, early 70s when the universities in India, like universities across the world, were very much a hub of political ferment, political activity. Leftism was a big thing. Many of my contemporaries abandoned their studies and went underground to join the left movement. I never did that. But I was the wind was blowing through it and we all were affected by it. And it was also a moment when we had begun to think about feminism. Growing out of small things like conditions of women's hostels, public transport, all of those sorts of things. How to deal with those sorts of things and why did women not have equal access. So that was where I sort of cut my political teeth. I think the interesting thing about the Indian women's movement is its variety and is the fact that it is not a movement which is dominated by the middle or upper classes. It's a movement that is constantly questioning from within, and the questions, for example, have come from what used to be called alternative sexualities, from caste, from transgender people, from minority people, about the majoritarian nature of the movement, about the fact that many of its symbols have been, say, Hindu symbols, and so on. So violence against women in its different forms, particularly sexual violence, assault, rape, etc., domestic violence, things like health issues, use of contraceptives, free choice, abortion, all of these have been there. Issues like poverty, food, quality of food, and so on, education. These have been some of the major issues. And in this, our movement is also very different from, let's say, Western movements, where the issues have been much more closely identifiable as women's issues, let's say. Do women in the movement call themselves feminist? Because you asked the question about feminism. They don't, and I don't think it matters. I mean, I think by and large women don't. For many women, the concept is foreign. For many women, the concept doesn't exist. It doesn't really matter what the label is. Basically, they do what they do, and to me, that's really deeply feminist, what they do. Activism is really an important part of our lives. It's the conscience of society, and it's what keeps our head real, that there are things happening around us which are inegalitarian. There are things that we need to be involved in. And I think all young people should be involved in those. The method of involvement, the mode of involvement, the mode of resistance they take, that's obviously their choice.